Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I am going to be giving my 2 cents on Tati Westbrook and my opinion of her Bye Sister video. So as you may or may not have known, the Bye Sister video that Tati Westbrook put up was basically somewhat of an expose of James Charles and, you know, how she outed him as a fake friend, how she outed him as a predator, how she outed him as someone who's very big-headed, diva-like, and, you know, just basically stepped all over the people who helped him come up. I'm going to be giving my opinion on that video and where I agree and disagree with. So let's get into it. Okay, so Tati, you know, says all these things about how James was very problematic and James was very, you know, with all the things that he said on his Twitter and in the past, you know, especially the one about like Africa and Ebola. And I was really pissed off about that because, you know, one, he said that at a very sensitive time, like, you know, that's not right. And two, like, he is coming off as one of those non-people of color, basically white cisgender male guys who just feel so invincible because they have this big platform and this fame, and he lets it go to his head. So I felt like, you know, although I was never a fan of him, I just knew of him at the time, but I was never really a true fan or a subscriber, so I really canceled him after that. That's all I needed. And I think that's a benefit in not getting so emotionally divested or emotionally invested, I should say, in certain topics and certain people like James Charles and Jeffree Star, because then when they do something problematic, it's kind of easy to cancel it. So I did not really like James Charles. Okay, I felt him to be very problematic off of that. Then he said something about like, oh, slow walkers are like the worst people. And when people came at him for it, he basically shrugged it off and said, oh my god, this is the most annoying tweet ever. Like, you could tell he got easily annoyed. And I understand how some people can be, you know, pretty sensitive. You know, there are certain people who are sensitive and kind of take things, you know, a little too literally, and you can't, you know, quote unquote joke anymore. But I do think that people should watch what they say as well and should be careful. Like I said, I don't want our society to get into a space or to a level where we're always walking on eggshells, but I do think that people need to be put in their place. So basically, you know, Tati talks about that, saying, hey, when you were very problematic, we were the ones who were still able to help you. We were the ones who were still, you know, caving for you. We were the ones who were still doing this. And then now she's outing him as a predator and problematic. And I have to say, although, you know, you get an inside source, it's easier for some people to believe her now that we have this, you know, inside information and someone who's been close to James Charles. So it's like when someone gets outed by a number of different people that we don't know or care about, it's like, okay, we don't believe that person. But when the closest person to them says, this is what happened, it's much easier for us to believe that person. So I took, so I listened to Tati's video, I watched Tati's video, and I said, okay, you make points here, you make points there. I didn't know that this was happening. But I have to say, Tati, Miss Tati, you're not innocent either. You are really not innocent. What I find funny is, it seems like you're picking and choosing your friends, and I think the real issue you're upset with James Charles has to do with the whole sugar bear hair and your halo supplement, you know, thing. And I'm going to probably get to that in another video, but for now I'm actually going to be talking about my opinion on her video. I really feel like it took the straw that broke the camel's back when you feel like your pockets were going to be affected. And I get it. You know, you thought you were James Charles's friend. You thought you two were close, you know, thick as thieves, like brother and sister, whatever, or our mom and dad or something like that, because I think he calls her husband dad or something like that. But, you know, I'm looking at this like, Tati, you're not really that innocent, because you also have been known to cape for other people. You're throwing James Charles under the bus, and I don't necessarily mean that in a way where I feel bad for him, but you're throwing James Charles under the bus and exposing James Charles. But when people were warning you and telling you about Jeffree Star, you were out here caping for him. And that's one reason, that's the main reason I do not really, mess with Tati. That's the main reason I'm not a fan of Tati Westbrook. You were out here caping for Jeffree Star, defending him, deflecting. You were out here basically, trying to keep your pockets aligned. And I think that's another case of people who use Jeffree Star, where you were just trying to get up for yourself. And maybe you did somewhat believe that, he was apologetic and he, was, how do I say, reformed, and he, was trying to rectify his wrongs. But I personally feel like with the way you dismissed it and with the way you try to, how do I say, distance yourself from the situation of his scandal, of Jeffree Star's racist scandal in the past, it seems like you were just trying to keep money coming into your pocket. You were trying to make sure your bag wasn't affected at the time. So I personally look at you, Tati Westbrook, and say, you're not innocent as well, because you're the one who has been caping for Jeffree Star, but now it's throw James Charles under the bus because your supplement line is, competing with brands like Sugar Bear Hair, and James Charles, the one you helped lift up, is going to, how do I say, is going to advertise for that company and not yours. Now, granted, I am an entrepreneur as well, okay? I, make things, I sell things, and things like that. If I were to have a friend, especially one that I'm close to, I would want them to hype me up. I remember listening to Super Scent. If you know who Super Scent is, she's the owner and CEO of the Crayon Case. I have to get some palettes from them as well. I really do, okay? I have like 3 palettes I want to get from them, okay? She's the owner of the Crayon Case, and she basically says, hey, don't worry about your friends not buying from you, not supporting you, not, doing this. Sometimes your friends won't even be your first customer, okay? So your family or friends won't be your first customer. Don't try to sell to your family or friends if they don't want to buy from you or support you. Don't do that. Sometimes they won't be your first customer or your first supporter. You just need to make sure you you get support from everybody else, okay? And Super Scent made a point, and the way I looked at it was, you know what? Because there are times where I tried to sell to family, friends, coworkers, and they wouldn't buy from me, okay? But I will say this. Yes, if your friends or family will not buy for you, and this is just a side note to all, future and potential entrepreneurs out there, if your family or friends won't buy for you, don't think that they can't be useful, okay? They can be what you call a hype man or a hype woman, They basically just market for you and advertise for you and, just tell people about your product, word of mouth marketing, you know what I'm saying? So that does, just because they don't buy from you physically, or just because they don't, put some cash down for you, does not mean they can't be useful in some way, shape, or form. So find another way to have your friends be beneficial to your business. But in the Tati Westbrook James Charles case, I feel like she felt slighted, and I feel like maybe the whole Sugar Bear Hair Halo supplement thing was like the straw that broke the camel's back, because you kept quiet for the most part, or at least off the internet. I'm going to say off the internet. You kept quiet for the most part about James being problematic, and then now here comes this Sugar Bear Hair thing, and here you are crying about it. Now, granted, you're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, Tati. So I would feel somewhat slighted if people were advertising big brands or advertising other brands, but won't help me advertise my business and get that off the ground. So I understand that. Especially you feel slighted because James Charles, you helped this boy up when no one wanted to work with him, when they wanted to separate from him after all his being problematic, and you and your husband helped. Okay, fine. That's I understand the lack of reciprocity, because I feel upset at a lack of reciprocity, okay? I understand that. But I feel like you're a case of the pot calling the kettle black in terms of how you want to throw James Charles under the bus, but how, you won't talk about how you cape for Jeffree Star and how, you kind of cape for other problematic individuals. And I just feel like, this Bi Sister video, although was, I would say, mostly unbiased and a good expose, but at the same time I feel like there was a level of bias in that, and that the real reason you're coming out exposing him as like a fake friend and a predator is because you feel slighted that your, you know, your friend, or who you thought was your friend, was basically selling or advertising for another brand than helping you advertise your stuff. And from what I hear, Sugar Bear Hair, their products are a waste of money. Their products don't work. I actually never heard of Sugar Bear Hair until I just saw some pictures popping up from different, you know, bloggers and influencers, not just the makeup community, but just these different bloggers and influencers on Instagram. You know, I just saw people holding, you know, the gummies and taking pictures with the gummies. So I'm just like, okay, this whole Sugar Bear Hair thing, this I'm just seeing this around. What's going on, you know? Because it's not like I was checking for it, but it was all over Instagram. And I was just like, okay, what is this? They're saying it's a gummy, it's a vitamin supplement that, you know, helps your hair grow long and healthy. People are talking about, yeah, this makes my hair grow. And I heard it's not even worth the money. I heard their products are terrible. Well, or their products are very mediocre, I should say. So I heard, you know, all of that. So I'm thinking maybe this Sugar Bear Hair thing, because at first I thought, okay, maybe this works, okay? Maybe it works, because I think I saw before and after pictures of people who use Sugar Bear Hair. But they're saying that the product is not worth the money. They actually have more. They have like a pink one. I think it's for skin, hair, and nails. They have a sleep gummy, which is in purple. So I personally wanted to try the sleep gummies because I found them in Ulta Beauty. They now have Sugar Bear Hair products in Ulta Beauty. I'm not sure about the hair thing. I'm not sure how it works for the hair, but I was interested in trying the sleep aid one. But that's beside the point. So yeah, I understand, you know, and I feel like there is money in it. These influencers, I don't have a problem with influencers advertising a brand, especially if it's like an indie brand, a small brand, or a big brand. But I would like them to advertise stuff that actually works, that has good testimonies, which is why I appreciate honest reviews on makeup stuff when new launches come out or when people get PR packages. I understand that in order to stay on the PR list or in order to get on a PR list, you basically have to say good things about the product. And I feel like that kind of does a disservice to the consumer who isn't an influencer and who isn't a blogger or a big YouTuber. It does a disservice to them because it's like, what if you're advertising a product that doesn't work and you're having people spend money on something? It's kind of like, you know, rewind back to the whole Power of Makeup thing where Nikki Tutorials had this thing with Too Faced and it was called the Power of Makeup. And, you know, she swore up and down, especially swatching it on her YouTube channel, she swore up and down that this palette was good. It was pigmented. The highlighter in there, you know, when people got it and swatched it, they said it was not pigmented at all. You know, they were patchy. They didn't blend well. So it's kind of like you're selling them a product. And I don't necessarily blame the ones with like millions of subscribers. You know, it's a hustle for some of them, and it's a career and a job for some of them, and a livelihood for some of them, you know, and, you know, they're very excited when they get their own, you know, deals, when they get their own brand deals and brand trips, and when they get their own collabs and their own palettes and stuff like that. That is, you know, in a way, I see why some of them do it, why some of them will cut corners and lie, cheat, steal in order to get up top. But I hate that because it comes at the expense of not only like other bloggers who are trying to reach the same goal, but it comes at the expense of the consumer as well, okay? Because these people are watching you, these people are supporting you, these people are practically giving you money in some way, shape, or form. So I personally feel like that does a disservice to them when you sell a faulty product or a mediocre product, you know. I try not to do that, and I understand. Sometimes even the bloggers get tricked, okay? Sometimes even the people who, you know, just really thought that they got into something honestly, they actually, you know, end up getting bamboozled as well. But other than that, yeah, that just does a total disservice to the consumer. But anyway, back to the Tati Westbrook situation. So yes, Tati, you outing James Charles, as told by Kenya, actually made a good point about this. She was basically saying, as told by Kenya, was basically saying that she does not understand why it took Tati Westbrook, you know, specifically a big white female YouTuber, to say James Charles is problematic when smaller bloggers, people of color, black bloggers were saying this man was trash from day one. Same thing with Jeffree Star. We said it, we called it out, but other people wanted to still support these guys. And, you know, even some black folks, okay, they actually support, or they actually say, oh, they like Jeffree Star. And that's the issue I have with the people who say they like Jeffree Star. And this is not me trying to hold some grudge or be vindictive against Jeffree Star or towards Jeffree Star. It's to say that, you know, offering your support to these people kind of help them stay afloat. And notice, the same people saying that they like Jeffree Star, a lot of them want to say a whole bunch of other problems about, like, racism and stuff like that. But I'm saying you're supporting Jeffree Star. You like Jeffree Star. And you can give him his props about how he has a great personality and is a good makeup artist. But at the same time, you saying you like him or offering support, you know what I'm saying? Don't necessarily speak too much or too heavily on other, you know, racial or other sexist or other, you know, how do I say, you know, social justice issues. Don't speak too heavily on that then. So yeah, as told by Kenya, actually made a good point. You know, why is it when everybody else knew he was trash, knew James Charles was trash, and you know, they knew he was problematic, finally Tati Westbrook, you know, speaks out and people say, oh, we got to cancel James Charles now. We got to get rid of James Charles now. And maybe that's the influence or the kick in the butt people need. It's kind of like when you get a celebrity endorsement or a VIP endorsement from somewhere, it's like a brand deal. Like, no one will pay attention to your brand. If I sold something for 99 cents right now and no one knew about it, if I had a business and no one knew about it, but the minute, you know, a celebrity starts wearing it, people will probably flock to my stuff. And it's, again, the whole thing about influencers. When influencers or big influencers actually, you know, endorse a product, promote a product, people are willing, especially if they're popular, people, for some reason, something clicks inside their minds and they go rush to that product. Because it's like, oh, somebody very popular, rich, and famous likes it. I like that person. And if they like this product, maybe I'll like this product. So they'll go out and get it. And it's like the same thing with Fyre Festival. Remember that? Remember Fyre Festival? They got all these influencers to promote it. Even Kendall Jenner. They got all these influencers like Kendall Jenner, Bella Hadid, or I think Gigi Hadid. I think, Chanel Iman, they got all these influencers and models to promote Fyre Festival. And, you know, it was the regular schmegular non-influencer people, well, most non-influencer people, that actually went over there and discovered that what they were advertised was not what it was. And they got so pissed. And guess what? Most of those influencers who advertised it were not even there at all. They advertised it on a different island, and then people went to another island and got what they got at Fyre Festival, okay? So that is the same case here. It's like when regular, schmegular, degular, hegular, zegular people were saying this guy is trash, and not too many people believed it, or at least his supporters didn't believe it, okay? Then Tati Westbrook comes out, gives her side of the story, and then, okay, big influencer, she's closer to James Charles. She's closer to James Charles, so I think that also plays a part in it. And she's saying this, oh yeah, I'm not believing it. I'm believing her, I mean. So I think it goes to say, like, it has to do with influence. It definitely has to do with the fact that she has a big platform and that she's a well-known, famous white female YouTuber. That's what it has to do. Because everybody was saying he's trash, he's this, he's that. No one wanted to listen. Big YouTuber Tati, who is kind of the pot calling the kettle black here, it says it and then everybody believes it. I mean, I guess it has to get out one way or another. And if it takes a celebrity endorsement, or if it takes, you know, someone with a big platform and millions of subscribers to say what everybody's been saying, to get the message out, I guess so be it. But my thing is, let's not give Tati props like she was the first one to say it. Let's not give her cookies. Let's just praise the fact that finally what we've been saying has been coming to fruition, okay? Let's just do that. But I am not about to give Tati 100% props or full-blown props or celebrate, like do cartwheels and everything because she came out outing James Charles when everybody else was doing it. So anyway, that's all I have to say for now about this situation. If you have any more information, you know, things I may not know, just put that down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thank you so much. Don't forget to follow me on all social media. Thank you so much, and I will hope to see you in the next video.